Hello, good evening. We just got home from work. Now we just decided to film, baby. Right? And a little talk.
Filming, filming and eating. That's what we want
Yes.
to do. You know.
It's like mukbang in the Philippines.
Right.
We
Now
call
this
it
is not Philippine food.
American.
This is American food.
American food.
This is Zach's Black Sweet, right, baby? Okay. And she also got the dips, and she got so
kind.
many dips. She got the spicy dip, ranch sauce, different ones. So anyway, we're not gonna be talking about the food. And, you know, I'm gonna look at this camera because I look. This camera's so dark, you know. But we're gonna have a conversation. We're talking some food, but we're not gonna talk about the food itself. We're gonna be talking about
I'm hungry. So I'm gonna eat.
relational things.
Yeah.
That's what we think. And one thing that we wanted to talk about
About
the first date, right?
about our first date. Where we met.
Where did we meet? I forgot. No, I'm just kidding, baby. I'm just kidding. I know. I knew you were gonna say that. No.
How
We met in Marietta. We met at the Marietta Square. Actually, not really. We actually met. I picked her up.
Oh, Walmart.
Yes. I picked her up from Walmart at the parking lot. That's where we actually saw.
I trusted you. It's because we've been talking for like almost 2 months, right? We've been talking for 2 months. We've been talking for 2 months before.
It was a little over a month.
It's yeah.
Yeah, little over a month. And for me personally, I wanted to see her right away. I mean,
We just wait for Mom.
Yeah, because Mama was in the Philippines when we met, and we met on Bumble, by the way.
Online dating.
And we met online. But Mama was in the Philippines with John
No.
too, or just
No, not
okay.
with John.
Okay, and so we met. We basically talked on the phone pretty much every day.
Every day.
Every day we talk. Every day. The first time, but I guess that you only video chatted one time.
Yeah, I
guess-
always want to just
Make sure I'm real,
yeah,
not like
just
a
to
fake person.
confirm that you're real, and then after that.
The pictures,
just-
right? Do the pictures. Yeah, because a lot of people put stuff up there and they basically put a picture, but it's not really them or somebody else. So I guess we just both wanted to verify that we really are who we are on the pictures, you know? And so when I first saw my baby on the video, I was so excited. I had a huge smile on my face, and she had a really big smile on her face. She smiled like
But remember,
this.
I told you I thought that you didn't like me. Like I thought
I didn't say it was-
But I thought at first, when we
Oh,
did
that's what we
the
thought.
video call, I didn't think that you were interested or you like me. I
Well,
remember just like having like
why would you think that, baby?
I don't know.
Why would you think that? That makes no sense to me. She is so, then as soon as I saw the pictures for my baby love, I was like, oh, she's so sweet. I would love to meet her. What are you looking for?
Straw.
Oh, I took your straw. Sorry, here.
Really?
Maybe we
Do you
share.
have it?
Here,
No,
take
it's okay,
mine.
baby.
Don't worry.
No, it's okay.
No,
I'll open it. No, it's fine.
Okay, all right. I think so. I
Ring
got
it
the
like
straw.
this.
Yeah. So anyway, we video chatted and then we spent 1 month talking every day.
Okay, 1 month talking. Yeah.
I actually went to New Jersey at the same time when we just met online and on over the phone. So we didn't really see each other before that. So we literally met maybe 3-4 days. We've been chatting every day, and then I flew to New Jersey and visit my family. And I still remember we texted all day long, every day while I was in New Jersey. And I was just so excited about my baby love. And we texted every day all day long. We called once in a while, and my family was like, Jeffrey, are you gonna spend time with us? Are you gonna talk to us
I remember
too?
that.
Or are you just gonna talk with Sherry? Oh, and then I remember, Desiree, my sister-in-law.
They teasing you.
Yeah, huh?
They teasing you.
Yeah, it was saying, "Oh, you calling Sherry again? Oh, he's calling Sherry."
Yeah.
It was so funny. So
At the time, even we're just like talking, we felt comfortable, with each other. And then when after we met, it's just like boom, we're together. We're in a relationship.
yeah, we basically like that. We talked every day, and I can't even remember one day, like in general in our relationship. I cannot even remember one day when we did not talk on the phone.
Every day.
Every day we call.
There's no day.
And now we have a routine. We call every morning.
Every morning.
And at least 3 times we call throughout the day. Like we usually call before 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I call her again like around 10 in the morning or 11. Or maybe
That's a
lunchtime.
schedule.
Lunchtime, I'll call her around lunchtime, and then sometimes after lunchtime, one more time. So always making sure a baby is okay. But like I said, when we first on our first date, we met in Marietta and we had a nice time together. We were literally together from that point on, and I think it's because when we already knew each other for a month and we really got to know each other because we were really like in tune with everything. We were really like we fit so good together.
Yeah, we see the connection and chemistry and everything. We get along right away.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good.
Wonderful. Anyway, the next one, what are we talking about here? Oh, yeah. One thing that we really like, you want to say that, baby?
Yeah, you say.
Baby Love and me, we are very, very laid back people.
We're not controlling.
Yeah, okay, she went right to the point. Jeffrey, cut
We're
all the
not
crap, get to the
controlling.
point.
We're not controlling.
Yeah, we're not controlling each other. We really like to just let things flow. We're not worried about the other person and trying to tell the other person what to do, what not to do. We just let ourselves be who we are.
Yeah.
And this is I think this is one of the most beautiful things that we have is the fact that we give each other space.
Oh yeah.
But
always give you space.
Yeah, she
Sometimes-
always gives sometimes too much
Okay,
space.
go.
And sometimes
Play.
like, baby.
Go
But
play your
we
computer.
really letting each other continue to do what we like to do. We're together, but we also still ourselves. And
I can go out. I can go to the club with my friends.
No.
Right?
You were at the beginning. You were a little nervous, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I never did that before, like going out at night with friends and, when I was, with someone, before.
Yeah, that's one
never do
thing.
that.
And
then you remember I always talk to you. I was there, but I always talk to you because, I don't want you to think that I'm doing something.
But I'm not.
I know, but we're still like.
Remember, there was one thing I told you that is like, you're going to notice it about me, that I'm really laid back with that. I'm really like, I always told you that I wanted you to be yourself and have fun and enjoy, just like as if you were single. If you were, I mean, not like single, you know what I mean? Like, like no one is like, telling you what not to do. You cannot do this, you cannot do that, Because I trust you. And we really like, we're giving each other that freedom. Now, I personally not really a club goer anymore. I used to go to the club a lot. I'm actually going, we went out a few times, Sharon and I, we went to like a club or we went dancing or whatever. But I'm really only doing it because
I want it.
she likes to do it. So I go with her.
I like to dance.
Yeah, I go with her, and the dancing part was kind of like for me like something like I'm not really that confident doing it, you know, but but yeah,
But you like it, right?
I like it. And it's really yeah, we just love this, you know, this the freedom that we have and we giving it other page. Another thing that makes our relationship so unique, you know, we really not trying to control each other. Because I think, you know, we've been through that, and I think that this is something that allows both of us to live our lives freely and happy and joyfully, and just having a happy relationship.
Yeah,
And I think that's very important. You know.
that's
So,
correct. I agree. Yep. And next, oh my God, the third one.
the third one. I wrote this down.
I have
Now,
that.
now
I
of
have
course,
some
Shirley, she got her
explanation on that.
reasons, and she's going to explain that. She's going to explain it, but I'm just going to tell you from my observation
Oh,
that Sherry is a little bit jealous. And do you know what? Honestly, there's nothing wrong with being jealous. You know, there's a certain extent that you should not overreach. You know, I have been in a relationship where the other person was so jealous that it was just too much. So there's a level, you know. And for me personally, when I discovered that Cherry is a little jealous, at the beginning I could not handle this properly because of my past experience with that. I saw it from a very negative standpoint. But I've also discovered over time that there's a healthy way of being jealous, which I'm literally learning in our relationship what a healthy jealousy is supposed to be. And yeah, and I'm adapting to it, and I'm accepting it now. And so we don't even need this camera. I'm gonna look at this camera all the time.
I
But
try to look.
yeah. I mean, it's just we can look here. It's just having a little side shot once in a while. Or whatever. That's all it is, really, you know.
But I got a reasons why.
But Cherry
was-
got her reason.
Yeah, you can tell. You can share why.
I'm gonna share what my reasons are. Right? Okay. Okay. So first thing is that before Sharon I met, I was personally in I was dating, and I was dating a lot of people, and I was also besides dating all the people, I was also seeing my ex-girlfriend as well, and spend some time, you know, and spend some time together and stuff like that. And when I first told Sherry about that, you know, I think at the beginning, you
You
didn't
didn't tell me exactly. You said that. You said, got that. You have ex-girlfriend, but you didn't tell me that you are, trying to get back together. You didn't tell me that.
that this is something that I'm learning about Sherry, and she's also learning about me because in her past experience, for her, it was an absolute, and I don't want to speak on your behalf, but it was an absolute taboo to have a conversation with your ex. We basically have met each other in two different experiences. We have met, I had my ex-wife, then I had my ex-wife, actually. We had, after we broke up, we had no connection whatsoever. There was absolutely nothing. With my ex-girlfriend, we just basically left on a positive note. So basically, we did not argue or anything like that. We just said, you know what, it's not working out. We're just gonna go different ways. I want our relationship to thrive, and I don't want not anything or anybody stand in the way, because that's very important to me. And I made this very clear to her after she told me that, and I think it's very important. But I personally think that it is all about making a decision how you want to live with your partner. It's
Well,
about
It's a choice.
what do you choose. You can choose You can choose to live in a toxic life, or you can choose to live in a healthy life. It's up to you. It's not
Yeah.
up to the other person. It's up to you. What you decide to,
Yeah.
especially
It's a choice.
yeah,
It's
it's a choice.
It's a choice. I agree.
I chose to have peace in my relationship with you because, first of all, I just don't want to have another toxic relationship anymore. And I do whatever I can to keep the peace, but at the same time, it is a choice, and there's always two people involved. Now, if you decide to take the peace, but the other person doesn't, then it's not going to work. Both people have to decide to make peace or to be at peace with everything, because it's a choice. It's two people that's involved. Maybe she got something there. So it's a must.
Read this, baby.
No. So anyway, that was a little deeper subject, man. There's so much to talk, Let's just go to the next one. So we have other topics.
What makes a relationship work?
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's other things.
Don't be sensitive and
yeah.
just don't take it always personal. Is that good? Is that good to say like that?
Yeah.
Don't take it personal and then like
we have to.
Don't assume.
Don't assume.
Ask first.
This is what it is. What makes a relationship work is the fact that you have to realize that the person had a life before you met them.
I think you're still in that number 3, baby.
No, I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about like life habits. I'm talking about life habits. Like,
Depend yourself, baby.
like everybody,
Okay.
put it this way: when two people out of high school get into a relationship, they really have not much baggage other than family issues, maybe. But they don't have any relationship baggage because they've never been in a relationship before. But I'm talking about more than that. I'm talking about life habits. I'm talking about the things that you like to do, the culture that you live in, the type of food that you eat, the type of religion you have, the way you look at life. You know, this is the baggage. This is your personality. And I think what makes the relationship work is that we accept each other for who we are.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always time for improvement. I know I need to improve myself. I know I should, but it's just in their timing and my timing how we're gonna improve ourselves. But in the meantime, in order to really make a relationship work, is to accept the other person for who they are, because that's something. And I guess we're gonna talk about that in the what's this here?
What is your expectation or?
Oh yeah, no. But we're gonna talk about that later. I think after the next one, where basically what happens if you don't accept that. But I think it's what makes the relationship work is the fundamental thing. Accept the other person because
stop demand, overthinking. Stop overthinking.
Right, those are all the other details.
Stop being jealous. And just trust. Trust your partner.
Remember that you chose, and I'm talking to the audience now, but remember that you chose that person. That person did not choose. I mean, the person chose you too, but you chose the person. So why did you choose the person? You like the person. So if you like the person, then why do you like the person, and what's the reason? Do you like the person based on his looks or her looks? Or do you like the person or personality? Because I personally believe that everything that goes with it is part of that person. Now, we have to change. We have to get better. We have to improve. But at the same time, if you want to be with somebody, you want to make the relationship work, then you have to accept that person where he came from and what he is, because that's where the person came from. And this is something that I'm learning about Sherry too, some of her cultures and traditions, that certain things that she told me that I had no idea about. the type of food that she eats, or there's this little mystical thing going on where there's like some kind of a fairy tale creature in the forest sitting on a tree, and I think that I'm just saying my own words, and there's a certain type of animal or creature or insect or whatever that you not allow. If you kill them, the bad things happen to you. And it will spread over your family, something like that.
Something like that.
But this is something that in the Philippine culture that they believe in, and for me, this is something that I've never knew, and I'm learning this, and I'm accepting it because this is what she knows. That's where she comes from, and I have to learn to accept that. Now, this is very interesting. I think we can't talk about this. There's so much to say, but we're trying to keep it like. We're trying to keep it simple and not too long, but I think this is going to be like an hour long.
And this is fine.
Hour long video, but it's okay, you know. Okay, what's the next one? We're looking at the topic right now.
What kills relationship?
Oh yeah, what kills relationship? It's pretty much the opposite of everything that we want to do.
If you are violent, of course, physical. Disconnection.
Yeah, physical disconnection. I think if there's no connection physically, I honestly, I think, I'm going to talk from my experience, since you talk about that particular part. If you're not connected emotionally to the person and lovingly to the person, then there's no way you can connect physically to the person with the right mindset. What I mean by that is, like, if you physically, you know what I'm talking about. I think if the emotional part is not there, if you don't really love each other, then the physical is just becoming. How can I say this? I don't want to say anything wrong.
It's fine.
Okay, like a robot. Like you just having sex with a prostitute. That's what it would be like. If you don't love the person emotionally, then you can never really love the person physically the right way.
Right way.
So what was the topic? What kills relationships? So basically, not having that. Yes, I agree. Not having physical with the right physical relationship will kill a relationship. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, obviously, constant fighting and arguing. Now, these things can separate people over time. I don't think it'll kill right away because.
But baby told me like, oh, it's normal to have a disagreement, right? It's normal in a relationship, right? Constant disagreement.
It is normal to have a disagreement, but if you have it like every day, if you have it every day, then something is not right.
It's not right.
It's
unhealthy, right, baby?
Yeah, something is.
It's unhealthy.
Yeah, you should not have this every day.
So I have a question. So once the relationship was like that, like always fight, and you think it's lost connections there, what is your advice? Should I go leave the person, divorce, or try to work the relationship?
Well, I mean,
what do you think is the best?
It really depends upon the foundations of the partnership. If you really have a loving relationship and you really love the person sincerely, and then you have argument on top of that, then yes, you should definitely work it out.
Yeah.
But now, this is the big but. Sometimes these arguments and these, people constantly fighting happens for other reasons. And it's because the love is not there in the first place. And because of that, now that's a different story where you should really question yourself, do you really love the person?
Yes.
Before you even trying to figure out, okay, how can we work this out? In our case, we love each other so much underneath it that that's not even a question for us. So if we do argue or if we do have a disagreement, then I think we should always work it out because we really love each other. We really love each other.
I don't. We never have like disagreements, like
No, we really don't. Not at all.
we don't. You know
No,
why?
not at all.
He can sense it. Like if something wrong.
I can feel. I can feel when Sherry's not happy. It's just. It's even over the phone. When I'm talking to her. When I'm talking to her over the phone, and something is happening. Maybe I said something wrong.
Yes.
It becomes really quiet, and then the way she responds, it's like, yeah, okay, okay,
Bye.
bye.
I don't.
I know something is going. I can feel it coming
Right.
through the phone.
Yes.
You know, and this is something. This is something that I told my baby love. If I say something that somehow makes you feel uncomfortable, then always remember, as I taught you, I don't do this on purpose. I don't do this to. There are other people out there, maybe people that you have been with, that literally were trying to make you mad.
Make you upset.
But I will never, never, never do this to you.
And I think that's the reason
something
why.
you have to learn.
And I think that's the reason why we never have any, disagreement. It's because of that. You always caught it,
Yeah, but my intentions,
away
my
and-
intentions for me are always so pure. This is something that I have for you, baby. That is, I never really had with any of when it was my marriage. I never had it, not like this. Like my intention for you is, is that I could not make you mad on purpose.
Yeah, and I love you very much, and
You know?
that's why when I'm upset, and when you say when you explain to me, baby, and then okay, okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, baby.
Because
And
sometimes,
that's it.
sometimes,
And I
sometimes.
said sorry, baby.
Yeah, sometimes
it's
what-
just a misunderstanding.
Sometimes what happens is when I say something that was wrong, I'm trying to like rewind
Yeah.
the time like
Yeah.
backwards. It's like no, that's not what, please, and I'm literally panicking inside. I'm like alarming, like please, baby, that's not what I meant, and I get really like inside. I get really sad, not upset, but sad because This is exactly what I did not want you to understand or be mad about, whatever, because it wasn't intended, So sometimes there's maybe a little miscommunication that
Yeah.
happens, and Sherry, I gotta say this to be honest, you are something a little sensitive,
I'm sensitive, yes.
And
I'll work on it. I'm still working
she is
on
a
it.
little
I'm
sensitive,
still working on it.
and this could also be from her past. I don't know. I'm just guessing. She's a little sensitive.
I've always been sensitive. It's not
Yeah.
because of my past. I think I'm just really
Yeah.
a sensitive person.
Yeah. But like I said, sometimes it's really just, I guess, the communication or something, But we got to stay on topic. What kills a relationship?
Okay, next.
No, but what else do we have? Man, anything else there?
What is your
Baby.
expectation?
No, there. Here. What kills relationships?
We already said.
Huh?
We already did. That's the thing.
I know.
And we
But
just
there were
have-
other things that can kill a relationship. There's so many things that can kill a relationship. Obviously, there's some very obvious things,
opposite.
like if you
Opposite
if you
things.
hit the other person,
Yeah.
or you cheat on the other person, or any of these things. Obviously, these will definitely change the relationship dramatically, and it will take a long time to get trust back, and could also kill too. But I always, like I said, I personally believe it really depends upon the foundation of the love. It really depends upon, because it really depends upon that. But the constant, like I said, controlling, nagging, all the negative things, obviously these things can happen, but if these happen on a daily basis for years and years and years, it can kill. And this is what happened to me. This was what happened to me. It wasn't like that it happened overnight. No, it took a long time. And then what happened was, over time, it numbed me. I was getting numb. Even though I was in a relationship, I was alone. Because I could not communicate with my partner. I could not be open to my partner or talk about anything with my partner, because I felt like I was alone. Because whenever I say something that's maybe for me a little uncomfortable to talk about, then I just end up in a fight. And there's always two people involved. Some people say it's only one person or you made it happen. No, there's two people involved. Two people involved. Two people involved. So, all right, next topic.
Last.
I know baby's excited about that one.
What is your expectation in marriage? I like this topic.
Do you want to start or me?
What is your expectation in marriage? No, you start.
Well, my expectation is in marriage that I don't expect anything more than I'm expecting already. Because I believe that a relationship and being loving to each other, there should be no difference in a marriage. It's just the same thing. For me personally, the difference between a relationship and marriage is that you are vowing to God and that you're making a covenant with God and that God will bless the relationship, because marriage was introduced in the Bible. It wasn't introduced by the government. It wasn't introduced by man. It was introduced by God. God created marriage. And this is why I want to get married one day, because it pleases God. And I want to please God. So it has nothing to do with the government or legal things, but it has to do with me honoring my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and that's why I believe in marriage.
Yeah.
But expecting, you said expecting. So what am I expecting in marriage? Well, I'm expecting to have a loving relationship like we always had. And I think that won't be a problem at all. I'm expecting that we are faithful to one another until we die. I'm expecting that we are loving to one another until we die. I'm expecting that we grow in our relationship, that we grow closer together, that we learn from each other. Because I believe it takes a lifetime to learn from one another. So it should never be like a part where we know everything. No, we are learning. And I'm talking about it in a good way. I'm not talking about like, okay, I'm telling you more secrets. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying learning the other person, learning things about the person and growing together. I expect in a marriage that we grow together, that we grow closer together, that we do things together.
Yeah.
And we do so much together. We do so much together already. We do everything together. We eat together. We talk
But
together.
about marriage, we're not rushing because we've been there.
Yeah.
We just
We're
like,
not-
for
we're
me,
not
I just
rushing.
have to maybe 3-4 years, before I really think about like.
Let me say it like this. I was in a relationship for 10 years. So that's one good thing that I can say based on my past marriage experience, is that there was never really a time when I paid everything myself or she paid everything. So we always paid things together. This is not even a question for me. Obviously,
But-
I will always
But for
support
me,
you.
I know, but
you know?
for me, I don't appreciate, everything like you do, because you buy me a lot of things, and you do the groceries, And yeah, I think even like we're just live as a boyfriend and girlfriend, you do much everything,
We are living. People asking me, "Is this your wife?" I always say yes. And now I'm actually extending it. When people say, "Who is she?" I say, "It's my wife." I say this, So it's like,
We not really need to
I-
have a paper to just,
well, I mean, when it comes, this is the thing. You have to also be realistic, because first of all, the Bible does talk about that you have to be ordained by a minister in order to be truly married before God. So that's one thing. So it's not like you just say it and you marry. No, you have to do a process. It's scriptural. But when it comes to the government, now Jesus did say in the Bible, in his word, he said, he talked about when it came to money. He talked about let Caesar be for Caesar and God be for God, meaning that if you owe taxes, you got to pay Caesar, meaning you pay the government. So Jesus wants you to pay the government, but he also wants you to pay God.
Yeah.
He wants you to respect both. So he wants, basically saying there's a deeper meaning, he wants you to respect the Constitution of God, but he also wants you to respect the Constitution of the government. And that means when you get married, you want to make it public to the government. And that's why people get married by law. So that way, and plus it protects you. Yeah, people always say it is against them, but it actually is not. Some people take advantage of that. Those are the wrong people. You know, I have seen from both sides. I've seen people that literally, when they went to divorce court, you know, they took all the assets away, the house away, and everything away, you know. And other people, they winded up keeping the children, and the other person had no more rights over the children. Anything, I don't want to go too deep in that, but I personally believe these things only happen, like I said before, because they never really loved each other from the beginning. That's it. I believe that if you really, really love somebody, I'm giving advice right now, and you love each other, not just one person loving the other person, or the other person doesn't love him back, but both people equally love each other so much,
Yes.
they won't do this to each other. They won't
Yes.
hurt each other.
Yeah.
I could never hurt my baby. I could never hurt her. You know, even when she trips and hurts a little toe, I'm like all over her, like making sure she's okay. I care about her so much. Why would I do bigger damage to her by doing that?
Yeah, so it's really important when you really love both.
That's important. And if this is there, that's why I said the foundation, it has to be right. The foundation is right. If we really love each other, then you're not going to do this to each other.
Yeah.
You know.
That's good advice. Baby
You know?
love.
But you don't have to baby. That's one thing you have to worry about. That's one thing you have to worry about me. You know, I won't treat you any different or anything that we do any different than I'm doing right now. You know, I'm not gonna be like changed. It's like, no, we married. No, that's
Yeah.
me. Oh, no, I got you. I'm not. That's not me.
Oh yeah.
This is who I am. This is
Yeah.
nothing's gonna change. The only thing that changed is that we recognize it for God that we're married. We recognize it for the government that we're married, and we're living on our lives like we always did. I don't mind doing it like where it's like, you know, don't cost so much, because I don't want to spend like there are people out there that spend like $100,000 for a wedding. I'm like, no, it's too expensive.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, like, what the heck, you know?
Oh, that's really good advice, baby. But for me, I think the only thing I can give advice is, don't try to find the right person.
Don't try to find the right. What do you mean?
Because, when, like you were been dating, before you met me, like dating spree. You said dating spree.
Yeah.
You've been dating a lot of, and I did too. I went out. I did, many dates too. I was single for 2 years, and being single is not really bad.
No, it's not bad.
Not really bad.
It's just time. It's time to meet people.
I think
Meet people and get to find the right person. You meet people.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that I never did. This was the first time I met a lot of people before I met Sherry.
Yeah.
But before that, the first person I dated, the first person that I met, I married. I never really took my time to kind of like look through.
We learn, right?
Yeah.
We learn from our experience.
Meet different people
Yeah.
and see which one is the best.
Yes. Yes. I think it's just different because I'm female and you're male.
Yeah, we are male. We go.
Yeah, it's mine. I'm very picky. I'm very picky. But I was very picky, like, but when I stopped trying to find the right person, what I just did is to become a right person myself. Because, okay, I like, I was like thinking like, oh, I like this and that and that. What about the other person? What I can give in return, what can I give in the table or something like that. I've been always thinking like, oh, this and this. What about him? What he can get in return,
Right.
what I can give.
Right.
So I just find yourself, like love yourself, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think it's important to really love yourself first,
Love yourself.
so that people know who you really are.
Yes.
And they can, because the way you love yourself, they can love you too, just as much as you love yourself. But if you are not really loving yourself, then you're basically hiding your true self and who you really are. And then you expect the other person to love that. If you don't even love yourself, how can you expect somebody else to love you? Yeah, it's
Yes,
very important, So,
And you can be a good person, but not a positive. Like you think always negative.
Right.
You always think negative and that.
oh,
and
I've
that
been
and
through that. Oh, I've been through that.
I was like that, negative.
I can't even see this. I
complain.
can't even see this in you, baby.
I was before.
You were?
But
I don't see nothing. Whatever she did, she's healed. She's healed.
Yeah, because you need after divorce, you go healing.
Oh, you mean
you go the process
through the
of,
healing
you
process?
Go, yeah, you have to go, to the healing process. You have to think that that's old you, that's the past. It's what's that, baby? It's your your old
Yeah.
you is not you anymore now.
Right.
You
changed.
change. You
Yeah.
can, and I believe you can change. And it's because of, your past relationship affected you,
Yeah.
like damaged you, what you think. And, it's just really hard
It
for
does.
me to trust someone else, someone again. It was really difficult. But you gotta have to think that what you
But
gonna what you gonna do? You're gonna
but
have to
there's a fine line between the trust and also how can I say this right?
negative thinking.
Negative thing, but the trust, but also realizing, and I said it before, realizing what the other person is all comes down to acceptance.
I think it's time,
The-
baby.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So you're good. This is the thing. If you don't accept the person for who they are, what's happening is that if you do find something else about that person, the reason why you don't trust it, or the reason why you're mad or whatever, maybe if he didn't tell you, then you have a right to be mad. But if you already notice about the person and you find out, then it's kind of like you're not accepting the person. So it's not really the trust, but it's the fact that you're not accepting, and you're using the trust as an excuse of as an excuse of the fact that you're not accepting it. You cover yourself up. So this is why I think it's important. Now, in the other way, the other person is not supposed to take advantage of that and say, "Hey, that's who I am." So yeah, no. You have to constantly improve yourself to please yourself to the other person as well. So there's two people involved. Like I said again, very important.
Compliment?
The
Is it
one
compliment?
person has to trust, but more importantly, accept for who they are, including their flaws, and the other person has to do whatever he can to make himself better for the other person.
Nice.
It's not just one way where it says, "Hey, you accept me. I can do whatever I want to do, and I'm not going to change. You just have to love me for who I am." No, you have to make sure that you work on yourself too, to please the other person as well. So it's two people involved, and this is how a healthy relationship starts to happen. Sometimes you'll be surprised. The relationship may not be as healthy at the beginning, but
Yeah.
it becomes more healthy over time
Over
because
time.
people have realized that both are responsible to fix themselves for the other person.
Yes.
And I think this is some of the things that I gotta say. I mean, you have shown me a few things, but some of the things that I'm working on myself in order to make myself more pleasant for Sherry, and whatever she does, she has to do it too. But I don't know all the details. Sherry, she's sharing everything with me. But she got things too that she's working on herself, and I got things that I'm working on myself. And as long as we're both going into the
we respect. We
yes,
respect
and
each other.
as long as we're going into the right direction, we are trying to make each other better for each other. Everything will be
Everything's
great.
gonna-
Yeah.
And last, this is before we ended this topic. So for those who are married, right, and they're not happy, or one are not happy anymore. So what can you give advice for someone who's not happy in their marriage?
Okay.
And then they have kids.
Okay. Well, if you goes back to the fundamentals. Do you really love the person? That's the first question because everything is built upon that. If you're in marriage and it's not going well for whatever reason, but you know underneath it you love the other person, then, and the other person loves you too.
No, what if the other one?
Okay, what if,
What if-
okay, now, okay, if you love the other person so much, but the other person doesn't love you
Anymore, yeah.
anymore, or whatever reason, I think you would have, I mean, so this is the thing. If you don't love, if the other person doesn't love you, and you know that, he really doesn't love you, then my advice would be to pray about it, first of all, because sometimes God can do miracles, and God can change the other person and make the other person love you. Try, before you do anything, just try that. Just pray. However, if God has shown you throughout the whole marriage that it's not working out, he doesn't love you, and God has already shown you, he already has shown you that he is not the right person or she's not the right person for you. In that case, you should seek legal advice. And if you're truly not happy, especially if you're in an abusive relationship, abusive marriage, anything like that, you should really have the guts and pull out. You should pull out. I would not advise to continue this relationship. And I know some people feel really guilty because all the children and because, the commitment with God and everything like that. God don't want you to be in a miserable marriage.
Okay.
He doesn't want you to be in a miserable marriage. So I suggest to pull out. Don't worry about the children. Nothing's going to change with the children. Okay? They're still going to love you. They're still going to say daddy or mommy to you. Nothing's going to change. You're only changing the connection between the other person that doesn't love you anymore. Has nothing to do with your children. They're still going to love you. They're going to still see you as mommy. They're going to still see you as daddy, no matter what happens between the both of you in your relationship. So that's the advice I can give, is if you're in a relationship, in a marriage that is not, you love the other person, but the person doesn't love you back, and it's not going good for a long time, I suggest, to be brutally honest, get out of it. Just get out.
Yeah. Because some, like, especially the spiritual couple, oh, we're not supposed to divorce is because of God doesn't,
Well,
something like that.
I mean, God,
And
obviously, God is against divorce.
Yes.
But he is also against marrying the wrong person. Now, this is the thing. Sometimes we cause our own problems in our marriage. We cause the problem in the marriage because that person wasn't meant for us in the first place. God had no intention for you to marry that person, and now that you want to get divorced, you feel guilty because, oh, we're not supposed to get divorced. Well, you're not supposed to get married to that person either. So you made the mistake in the first place of marrying that person, and now you feel guilty that you divorced the person. No, don't feel guilty because you weren't supposed to be married to that person.
But baby, sometimes, in the beginning it's all good, and in the
I personally believe that if you find the right person, then you will be happy throughout the whole time. I believe in everlasting love. I'm like a fairy tale person. I believe in happily ever after. I do. And I think it exists if you meet the right person.
yeah, but
And
just for me, it's just just leave the person, and
Yeah.
and don't and I know for the kids' sake, you want to stay together, but
Right.
but for me, it defeats the purpose. The purpose is to have a healthy relationship and raise happy children. And if you're not happy, in your relationship, you have to end it, no matter what.
The kids definitely can sense it if you're not happy.
Yeah.
They see that you constantly argue. And like I said, if these things happen like a few times or one or two times or whatever, that's one thing. But if this happens every day, you constantly nag, you constantly complain, you constantly argue, you don't like each other, you don't cuddle in the bed, you don't hug each other, you don't say loving words to the other person. There's this resentment, there's ignorance, there's people that constantly arguing, they're not even liking each other, they're not They don't want to talk to
It's
each
unhealthy,
other.
toxic.
It's just
It's
negativity all the time. Then there's a very clear sign that the relationship is over. That you're just dragging it on. You're dragging it on, and
Yeah.
at that point you should just get out.
But once it's over, just be a good co-parenting, for the kids,
Yeah.
you know.
We had another
Conversation,
thing. We had
baby.
another thing we wanted to talk about, but I think we keep that for later. Very quickly, I found something out that I had no idea.
Really?
The Philippines and Germany are two different worlds indeed. And I personally, when I was a kid, I always used to squeeze my pimples, on my forehead. Squeeze it, because there's white stuff coming out of there. And I had one here, and I don't get it anymore. I used to get it when I was a teenager. Young kids get it all the time. But I grew up in a society where we would just squeeze it. And I had one today, and I squeezed it all the time. When I told Sherry about that, she was like, "What are you doing? What?" She didn't know anything about it because they don't do this in the Philippines.
Right? Okay, I'll speak in
Go ahead,
language.
go ahead.
Okay? Di ba? Hindi natin ini-squeeze yung tigawat. Bawal yun kasi baka ma-infect yan or basta bawal. But, sige, comment kayo. Can you just tell Jeffrey that you're not supposed to squeeze your...
I didn't know that.
I never did that.
I had no idea. So that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. I never thought about it. It's kind of like, why are you picking your nose? Some people pick their nose. I used to do it. Yes, I did. But when you think about it, say, why do you do this? This is disgusting. So what's the difference between popping your pimple? It's the same thing. If you think about it, why do you do that? You're right. I'm learning. I'm learning. All right, I think we're done, guys.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for watching, and please, guys, sa mga hindi pa nakaka-subscribe, subscribe na and like our videos, share, comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. It was definitely a very interesting topic. Some topics were very nice to talk about. Some other ones were very interesting and deep, for sure.
Flowing with the water, flowing with the water, flowing with the water, flowing with the water. Innocent love, innocent love, flowing with the water, flowing with the water, flowing with the water.
Flowing with the waters. Swirling with the waters.
Flowing with the waters.